And as Ryan mentioned, I'm going to be going over a really exciting demo with a service integrator partner, Redesign Consultoria. They're out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And they're an early adopter of the AWS SageMaker connector. I thought this was a great opportunity to show insiders and internal folks how this, I think really strategic connector in the artificial intelligence and machine learning category within integration service is being used to solve real customer problems. So they're going to take us through a fraud detection demo. Just in terms of setting the stage for them. We've talked about this release before. This isn't brand new, right? This came out in March and is currently in public preview. As you'll see on the right side here with this screenshot, that should look pretty familiar in terms of the UI, right? So this is available in Studio Web as well. We could just as easily run this demo through Studio Web, but today we're going to be doing Studio Desktop. And just to rehash why this is such an important connector for this category. So Amazon SageMaker, as folks may or may not know, is a studio where users can build, manage and deploy kind of custom models or off-the-shelf models that AWS makes available. In many cases, these models are trained from proprietary data, and so can be used in very kind of bespoke use cases that customers might be trying to accomplish. So you can use marketplace models that are available. You can use what AWS calls jumpstart models, or again, you can use custom models completely built in-house. And the idea here is to, reduce the time to value for tailor-made artificial intelligence use cases. What does that actually mean? Well, it might be somewhat difficult to put together a proof of concept to demonstrate how AI can help with a particular business process, an automation. The idea here is that you can very easily, just like any other integration service connector, you can set up a connection to AWS and immediately start interacting with a model that you have deployed to production. So you'll see in that in that screenshot there, I have a selection of models that I can choose from. And immediately start using the outputs of those models in my automation. So just like I might do in any other activity, I can assign a variable and use that in another, integration service connector activity or whatever it might be. So in terms of introducing our presenters today, we'll be joined by Humberto Palma and Michelle Ziad. These two are great partners that we've been working with to help evangelize this connector. They were really excited to hear about the fact that we were working on this in conjunction with AWS. And they're going to kind of take us through a really cool use case that also includes UiPath apps and UiPath data service. Humberto, Michelle, are you guys there?
Yes.
Awesome. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to participate on this demo day. I'm Humberto Palma, and now we are talking about the flow of our demo. Our use case is to combat electronic transaction and payment frauds. In this way, we have a user at the left side. We will be making a sample purchase in our e-commerce. Okay, in our demo we recreate an e-commerce simulation using UiPath apps. Okay, the second one is once the user fills the information such as credit card, the address, and so on, and clicks to buy, apps will make a call to an automation that receives the customer information, crosses these informations with the historical information that the company already has on the same customer and sends this data to a model on Amazon Sagemaker. Okay, and this connection with the Sagemaker is very simplified and intuitive. It is using the integration service of UiPath for sure. And this connector allows you to easily send this information to this endpoint. And the model, it's for sure the model is already published in Amazon SageMaker. We will talk about this model later. Okay, this type of quick connections, we think that this enable real-time prediction use cases, but we can for sure also use embedded predictions. Some cases such as churn predictions, cross sells and upsells on market campaigns, etc. Okay. With more details in the next slide, Michelle will talk about the architecture of these solutions. Okay.
Thank you, Humberto. So as Humberto is saying, this is a architecture diagram we went for on a synchronous or in real-time scenario. We used a couple of different UiPath services from Automation Cloud that you might be familiar with, as well as a machine learning model that is hosted on AWS SageMaker. In this scenario, we are running a shopping website. To create the site that the user is going to interact with, we chose UiPath Apps. It's a low-code application development platform that enables you to build and share enterprise-grade custom applications. Personally, it's one of my favorite services from UiPath. After adding items to our shopping cart, we are requested to input our credit card and personal information to complete the transaction. The instant we click the checkout button, the transaction information are stored on UiPath Data Service. It's a persistent data storage service that brings powerful no-code data modeling and storage capabilities. The transaction also starts the process on an unattended robot. It gets information on the transaction service from the data service. After the robot processes the data to a desirable state, we are going to run it through a fraud detection machine learning model that Humberto is going to talk more about soon. To connect and send the data to our model that is hosted on AWS, we are going to use the SageMaker connector from UiPath integration service. It adds an activity on UiPath Studio, so we can seamlessly integrate it with our code. As soon as the connector sends a response with the result, the automation decides, based on parameters, whether it was not or fraud, and shows a success or failure message to our user. I know it sounds like a lot of steps, but it's much quicker in real life and no different from buying any other store. Humberto is going to talk more about the model now.
Quick explanation of the SageMaker. SageMaker is the official data science platform from AWS. Okay, many customers have already adopted this solution like their official data science project platform. Okay, Jumpstart. SageMaker has an area that they call Jumpstart, as Scott said, which already has a large list of pre-made templates. This fraud detection example is one of the Jumpstart models. This link in this slide will get you on this page, okay? And for this demo, we choose the fraud detection model that uses a neural network that analyzes the customer payment story, like this first chart below, the payment transaction history, and for this demo, we choose the fraud detections. We've analyzed the customer payment story and how these payments are made. That's the second one, is the device that you use it. We have the IP address and the phone number and so on. Something like the device ID that user is common to use this information. Thus, we can analyze this data and we can classify the probability that these new transactions being a fraud or not. It's important to remember that other models on Jumpstart or that you build can use with this connection. The UiPath connector is very flexible for all type of models that's published in Sagemaker, okay? Scott, at this time, we need to share the video. Can I share here?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Go ahead and share your screen.
All right. It's good. Everybody seeing? Yep. Okay. The video starts showing the integration services. See, you can see there is a dozen of connectors. Okay. We are searching for the SageMaker one. We already made our connections within our instance of the SageMakers. Okay. The fraud detection model, business can lose billions of dollars each year with fraudulent transactions, and as more as the business operations goes online, fraud online systems are also on the rise. To combat this online fraud, many business areas, are investing in AI solutions to help predict this kind of frauds. Sorry. In this page, we can see the final endpoint. Then to show our demo, first of all, we have apps looking like a shopping cart. We have our process and queues and data services all set. Okay, and let's see the queues now. Okay. During this time, in this simulation, the users will input all the data, payment information, security code, and credit card, all those information that all of you guys certainly know. During this time, all the communications between apps, the robots, the integration services, and the SageMaker will be executed on background as soon as the user clicks on the send button. As we said, it's in a real-time approval model. Then we are waiting several seconds. And as you can see, the payment was approved by those models. We can make a refresh in this screen now that you see that the model is it's real on execution. Looking for the studio, okay. First part of the studio, we are preparing the data that has arrived from the apps, and the main activity of this demo is get inference that we're not looking at now, which basically calls the SageMaker endpoints after the SageMaker responds that's a fraud or not. The robot can do whatever we want. You can send a message or send mails or block the transactions and whatever. Okay. At the end, we can see all the logs. It's a real-time demo, and it's a real world demo. Then we can see all the logs. We can see the logs inside the orchestrator and inside on the SageMaker page. We can see the thresholds and the response of these endpoints in details. Okay, the video is over. In resume, Scott, we consider this connector a very credible accelerator. For use case, perhaps customers already has SageMaker on their AI and data science solutions. Okay. And for sure that it was a pleasure to share with you guys all this stuff. A special thanks again for the Scott here. If you have any questions, me and Michael are here to help. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks so much, Humberto and Michelle. That was fantastic. Really appreciate it. So I just wanted to kind of wrap this up, what we saw today was again a service integrator, redesign consultoria, demonstrating how they're and again, I love this. This was completely organic, tying together integration service, apps, and data service to accomplish a real world use case, right? Detecting fraud, which is something that could impact any kind of business. And this is something that Redesign is planning on, going to market with, and are already working on some active engagements with customers on. So really great to be able to see multiple UiPath products being tied together this way. I think that the use cases are pretty much limitless. You have these kind of off-the-shelf models with Jumpstart and AWS Marketplace, but again, assuming you have a data science team and they're building models in Sagemaker, interacting with those models is relatively easy directly in your Studio and Studio Web processes. So really excited about that. And this is kind of only the start of, UiPath's investment in the AI and ML category. Some of you might have been part of the AI Summit that happened a couple of weeks ago. We are really leaning into generative AI as well. So for those of you who haven't tried them out yet, and Hunter kind of showed this earlier in the Studio Web demo, but please go ahead and try out the OpenAI and or Azure OpenAI connectors. They're available in public preview as well. I really look forward to hearing everyone's feedback and all of the awesome use cases that people are going to accomplish with these connectors. Thanks again.